Did I ever tell you the story of the young boy named Bobby who lived next door to me? When I first met him, he was about 15 years old. He was Hispanic and was trying to let his hair grow long so he could wear it in a low ponytail. His eyes were jet black and he had the most beautiful smile. When I was out working in my yard, he would visit me and my pup. I knew he was a good boy, something my mom used to say, trust your intuition. After a long morning of gardening, we decided it was time to rest. We then chatted about everything and anything, the car he was working on, his girlfriend, fun stuff like hiking and baseball. We both laughed when the pup sat in the roses and looked as if he was contemplating life. The boy told me about his family and his love for his grandpa, Che, and how his grandpa loved country music. He said his grandpa died about 6 months ago. I asked how old the grandpa was, and he guessed about 65 years old. As we talked, I noticed a bit of sadness in his eyes. It seemed like he wanted to talk more about his grandpa, so we did.
Grandpa was a young buck and got into trouble lots of times, as young boys do. Then something happened that no one talked about. When Grandpa was about 15 years old, he just got on his horse, called his dog, and left home. For years he was working on ranches, traveling to and from Kansas and Texas. A few times Grandpa would send a letter to his parents asking if he could visit. His mom wanted to let him come home, but his dad said no. My grandpa used to tell me that the porch light at his home kept him safe. When it was on, he knew he had a place to call home. He ended up in Texas, and I was able to spend my summer vacations with him. We would go to motocross or rodeos, ride horses, or grill outside, fun stuff like that. Grandpa loved baseball, spent a lot of time talking stats and his favorite team. When Grandpa moved in to live with us, that was the best thing ever. I got to see him every day and not just for summer vacations.
He became quiet and started fidgeting with his hands. He said his grandpa started getting sick. While looking at the ground, the boy said, "My grandpa, he died from AIDS." I saw shame on his face. I gave the boy a hug and told him I worked in HIV education and prevention, and that there is nothing for him to be ashamed of, not of his grandpa, not of this secret, and not of the virus. HIV is preventable, and if not practicing safety, anyone can get HIV. Not so much now, but one could get HIV through blood transfusions. Nowadays, unprotected sex and sharing drug paraphernalia are the most common. He slipped on his sunglasses and with a very sly smile asked if I had anything to eat. I went inside and brought out slices of watermelon and apples, a sandwich for each of us, and glasses of lemonade. As we ate, I saw him look up to the sky. He started to come out from the shadow of his grandpa. Each semester break, he would try to visit. He would sit on the porch waiting for me to bring out a lunch, talked less and less about his grandpa, but still missing him so. As it was, he graduated from high school, went on to veterinarian school, and focused on big animals. I told him his grandpa would be very, very proud of him for working with horses and such. He is living in California and it has been over 30 years since I saw him last. I know in my heart that he is doing well. No more shame about his grandpa who died of AIDS, and no more being in the shadow of his grandfather's secret.
Mama, Papa, is your porch light still on? Mama, Papa, is it alright for me to come home? Do you remember when I was a young buck, staying out all night? What sobered me up was that damn porch light. At least that's what I thought. mad about leaving, don't wanna be alone. Mama, Papa, is your porch light still on? Mama, Papa, is it alright for me to come home? Good to hear your voice, but it's getting awfully late. I'm living in Kansas. Today is the 8th, headed for Texas. Wanna see you, can't wait. Don't worry about me, everything is alright. Keep the porch light on. It's almost daylight, a 12-hour run. I could be home tonight. Mama, Papa, is your porch light still on? Mama, Papa, is it alright for me to come home? Is it alright for me to come home? Is it alright for me to come home? Mama, I miss you, and I'll see you tonight. Te amo, Mama.